I had a bunch of suitors come out of the woodworks who were my friends before. But what I realized through these other guys hitting on me was in my heart, I compared them all to Jamie. These guys are actually going to church. These guys actually say they love Jesus. Maybe I should be dating one of them. There wasn't any that had my eye. Unfortunately, some of them were friends of Jamie's. Friends that he had had for much longer than I'd been around. That hurt him a lot. But lucky for me, that made Jamie a little bit jealous. That got Jamie's attention. When he realized other people were interested, he started getting upset, and it caught him off guard because he knew people would care. He knew if we broke up, there could be somebody else, but he did not expect to feel the way he felt when it started actually happening.
That was one of the most hurtful things that I have ever had happen to me. To actually feel like I've been sabotaged. I had to confide in some of my friends. But who could I confide in? Most of the people that I was going to talk to were busy trying to persuade Jody. I took one of my female friends to St. Catharines to go see some more of my female friends. And I had to talk to them and confide in them what was actually happening, because I couldn't talk to anybody else. So we had a good day. Then we came home and we were continuing that conversation. After that, we kind of decided to put a movie on and then we were going to call it a night. And Jody was messaging me, talking to me a bit, and I said, you know what, I've had a pretty emotional day. I'm pretty hurt at this point. You know what, I'm going to bed.
I was hanging out with my friend, and Jamie had messaged me saying, have fun with your buddy. I'm going to bed now. I'll talk to you later. Well, unfortunately, that time with my friend didn't go very well.
We were about halfway through the movie or so. I hear the key turn. I have never jumped off my couch so fast. Somebody was literally entering into my house. Let me explain something. I do not have a front door. I live in a basement apartment that overlooks a ravine into nothing. I do not have neighbors into my backyard. You have to go around to enter into my apartment. I have never jumped off my couch so fast.
So I drove over to Jamie's place. I still had a key. He had his own apartment. And I noticed the TV was on and the lights were off when I got there. So I unlocked the door, I walked in, and I thought maybe he didn't sleep. Or maybe he fell asleep on the couch. So I thought I really need to talk to him. When I walk in, I was not expecting to see somebody there with him. I was not expecting to find another woman in his apartment, under a blanket, watching a movie in the dark, after he told me he'd gone to bed.
I forgot she had a key. Jody very quickly sees a situation. She sees my friend under a blanket. She sees my friend watching a movie with the lights off. Jody does not stay to have a conversation about this. She turns around and leaves.
Imagine how that looked. I wanted to puke. I know we weren't dating, but obviously I still loved him. And I ran. I ran out of his apartment.
I'm not going to let that happen. Because I know what this looks like, and it is not that. I need to fix this now. So I run after her.
And he chased me. He chased me in the driveway and he said, "What are you doing here? Why are you upset? What is going on?" And I said, "I was upset because of something that happened and I came to talk to you about it. But clearly you're busy. Clearly you have company. You have better things to do."
I have gone from depression, woe is Jamie, to I've had the worst day, let's calm down, to I got to fix a situation that is not what it appears. I am in full console mode now. And the only thing I can say is, you need to come back to the house.
I felt betrayed. I felt like I couldn't trust him because, in my heart and in my mind, if it was just a friend, why would you lie? How would I know he's telling the truth now? How would I know she's really just a friend? How do I know you weren't doing anything?
I need to now prove to this woman she did not see what she just saw. That took some work. We finished the movie. I have to tell you, that was probably the most awkward movie that I have ever finished in my life, to watch two women looking at each other the way they did, because I know my friend knew what she thought she saw and just felt awkward. I feel sorry for my other friend, but I needed to show Jody that she was important and she was the woman that I had just spent all day talking about to have this situation happen. So we finished the movie, and Jody and I have a conversation on that.
They finished their movie, she left, we talked it out, but trust was lost that night. Did he do anything wrong watching a movie with his friend?
We were on a break.
Okay, Ross. Today, I absolutely believe it was just hanging out with a friend, and you know what? He probably didn't want to be his phone blown up. He's watching a movie, he's catching up with a buddy. Sometimes movies do look better in the dark. The appearance of evil, yeah, it didn't look good. The fact he lied is where I couldn't be sure if he was being honest with me now. I caught him in a lie that looked so bad. I didn't know how to come back from that. But again, we were only friends, right?
It became apparent that my knee-jerk reaction to console Jody after that situation, that I still had feelings for this woman. And after Jody and I had that conversation, God put on my heart. Now remember, God is my big guy in the sky. And my knee-jerk reaction in my relationship with Jody was to run. But God put something on my heart that night. What if you stayed? What if you had the opportunity to build the wife that was meant for you from scratch? That quarter-life crisis that Jody was going through. What if you stayed and helped her be the best version of herself? He showed me the image of my wife and who she was. But it was going to be work. And I didn't want to do it. I've run at this point probably 4 times. It's embarrassing how many times Jody and I have broken up. I don't want this relationship because it's too much work. I don't want to go through this again. But what if you stayed? God showed me who my wife was going to be. How do I say this to someone without sounding like a possessive boyfriend? How do I say this to someone without sounding like a manipulator? Well, there was going to be some work involved, and I had to explain myself carefully. But what I can tell you, God did show me what my wife was going to be. This nervous, self-doubting, insecure woman that's been part of this relationship the last year and a little bit, turns into a confident, successful wife. It was beautiful. It was the prettiest woman I had ever seen, and it was Jody.
Over time, Jamie and I, again, worked out our issues, worked out our trust, worked out this, got back together, but something was still missing. Because now he was saying, you know what? We've been seeing each other for a couple of years, on, off, dating, not dating, whatever you want to call it. We've been in each other's lives for years. And Jody, one thing I need before I get married, I need to live with that woman first. No, we're not living together. I've already told you that if we're gonna get married, you need to be a Christian first, let alone, I'm not moving in with you. That contradicts the fact I need you to be a Christian for us to get married. So again, we were banging heads. We could not agree on even whether to live together before we got married or not. At this point, I started mentally detaching myself from Jamie. I started preparing my heart for the fact, you know what, you've made another mistake. It's not going to work out. Maybe this wasn't a promise from God. Maybe it's something you've told yourself your whole life, so you could try to make an excuse for making bad decisions. I don't know. At that point, I started looking into Christian colleges and looking into programs, missionary projects, and things to do because I had to prepare myself for the fact it wasn't going to work. I started withdrawing. I pulled away from Jamie, and I didn't want to deal with the fights. I didn't want to deal with the, how long do I get to kiss you before it gets inappropriate? How long am I going to beg you to come to church even on my birthday? I'm just asking for you to come to church with me. And he couldn't even do that. I just felt like maybe I'd made another mistake.
Our struggles didn't stop after we got back together. I'm pretty sure we probably broke up a couple more times after that. Jody and I have been together at the release of this video 9 years, give or take a couple months. Actually. We've been together 9 years. That vision of this wife that God was going to prepare for me was being built. Yes, Jody had to build herself. Yes, Jody had to do the work. But God showed me, the big guy in the sky, that I needed to be a part of this.
So I prayed. I said, God, if this man is never going to come to you, please just release me. Just change my heart. I don't want to love him anymore. But I feel like you've called me to love him for a reason. And if that is true, God, I've tried to influence him. I have tried to bring him to church, and he's fighting me. It's in your hands now. I can't do this anymore. I believe very strongly God gave me a very specific date. And if Jamie doesn't find God or doesn't even make a step in the right direction by then, I got to walk away. And I knew that if I didn't tell somebody what God told me, to hold me accountable, that I might make the mistake. If that time lapses, I might still stick around. I might make an excuse for him. I might say, maybe I heard wrong. Maybe that wasn't really what God wanted. But I knew it was. So I told 3 people. My best friend, the friend that introduced us, who unfortunately had to listen to half the drama half the time. He didn't know why we were together. He really didn't. And I told my mom, and I said, guys, listen, none of us can tell him. Nobody tells Jamie that he's on a deadline, and I'm going to start pulling back. I'm going to give him more room. I'm going to be a little colder because I need to prepare my heart for walking away.
I never expected my house to be broken into and me attacked.